Hello, my name is Ahmed Kashif and I'm here with my colleague. And today we'll be presenting to you our project, which is the Bionic Eye. So these are the materials and aspects we're gonna cover. There are four main aspects. The first thing is we're gonna explain why did we choose this topic. Then we're gonna move on to explaining the biology and the anatomy behind this topic, since it is about the eye. And we can also explain how do cameras work. Then we'll move on to the steps and the processes of us creating and reaching a solution of our product. Then last but not least, we will showcase our final product.
If the blind leads the blind, they both fall into the ditch. This basically means if a leader with no goal leads a team, they will find themselves with nowhere to go and with no progress being done.
That was well said, Sultan. Thank you.
And why? Now we will explain why did we want to do the product.
So the first reason in our hands is we wanted to create something that we can contribute to the society with. We want to give the society something that will be long lasting, and it will solve some of the problems that people have been facing for decades and years. And this will help us to prove that science can be beneficial to the society. The second reason is we want to show that there is nothing that is called impossible. We want to create something that might sound impossible but still doable to be done. And we want to show that we can use our substantial knowledge to create something that's far-fetched or advanced.
A unique topic that not many people has done before, and because it's how unique it is, it has a lot of potential and a lot of untainted ground that we can go through, and a lot of reasons we can do it. And even though it sounds far-fetched, I believe it can be done in the future. And now we'll speak about the biology of the eye and the camera. And here we'll talk about the anatomy of the nerves, and which are located around the eyes, and the anatomy of the eyes, their main parts, and their functionalities.
And for the nerves, we'll be speaking specifically about the optic nerve. So now we move on to speaking about the eyes, which are one of the most crucial and essential parts of the human body. So the eyes contain almost 70% of all sensory receptors in the human body. Now we move on to speaking about the protective layers, the three main protective layers that build up the eye. So the first layer is the fibrous layer, which is made out of connective tissues, and it has the cornea, and it's like a window. It allows light to enter the eyes. Then you move on to the vascular layer, which is in the middle. It contains the choroid, which is a membrane that supplies all the layers with blood. Then we move on to the innermost layer. It's called the interior layer, which is a ciliary body that has a ring of muscle tissues that surrounds the lens. Now we speak about the main eye parts, or the four main eye parts. We start off with the outermost part, which is the cornea. It acts like a shield for the eye, and it is the transparent part of the eye that covers the front portion of the eye. Then move on to the iris. It's made of smooth muscle tissues that protects the eyes from taking too much light, and it is what dilates and pinpoints the pupil. So the iris here basically protects the pupil. And now move on to the pupil. A pupil is an opening that allows light to travel into the eye, and it's kind of like a gate that allows light to go into the eyes. And we move to the most inner part of the eye, which is the retina. It's located in the back of the eyeball, loaded with millions of photoreceptors, and its main role is to convert light energy into electric signals that the brain would receive. And a quick side note, the retina consists of two main layers, which are the pigmented layer, and the other one is the neural layer. The pigmented layer helps absorb light that scatters around the eyeball. Now we move to the photoreceptors. The eye contains two main photoreceptors, and they are the cones and rods. So basically, cones helps us analyze colors and understand colors, and the rods helps us understand black and white, and they exist in more quantities than the cones. So we can think of it of a printer, for example, how we use colored ink to print colored pages, and how we use black ink to print black and white pages, for example. And the cones, the colors that they have are the red, green, and blue, which are the main three colors we need in order to perceive and understand other colors.
Here we can see the optic nerve. It is basically the nerve that connects the eye to the brain and transmits sensory information and electric signals to the brain. As you can see here, this is how the optic nerve actually looks like. It connects the entire eye to the brain. Without this connection, the eye wouldn't be able to see anything. And here we'll start explaining on how do cameras actually work. As you can see here, this is basically how a camera works. It starts with the light. First of all, it has many lenses that are inside the glasses that would slowly concentrate the light until it reaches so it can reach the shutters, photoreceptor. The shutter also helps in this process. And then we'll go to the picturing, where how it basically works is that the light will go through, and as you can see here, it bounces off a mirror so you can be able to see. But when it pictures, the mirror would flap up and the shutter will go down. This will allow the light to reach the photoreceptor itself and basically take all the colors as information and patterns. Then it will the shutter will go back up and the mirror will go back down. This actually explains why sometimes when you're picturing with any type of camera, the screen goes black for 1 second. That's because your connection to like how you see it has been cut off for 1 second. And then when forming the picture, the photoreceptor will take the red, green, blue, and even the gray scale, and to make it into a pattern. Like the red will be here, the blue will be here, and it will kind of pixelated and like form kind of like a puzzle piece. Will connect all the patterns together to get the image that you see on your camera.
So now we move to the third aspect of our PowerPoint, which is the creation. The process of us reaching the creation of our product. So in order to make a product, we need to have goals. What are we trying to achieve here exactly? Our goals is to create or invent something that can be translated in a human's body, which is bionic, that would allow blind people to see and get their vision back. And we also want to make that product something that feels healthy, something that feels real as an eye, for example. So our idea is to balance out between both was a camera and eyes. So our product would have the imperfections of an eye and the perfections of a camera combined together to create a perfect product that would be suitable to be placed in the human's body instead of a damaged eye.
So as you can see here, these are the biggest similarities between an eye and camera. They both have lenses and sensors that allow light to pass through them in order to reach the photoreceptor, and that's basically how we see. And here we can see the difference between the camera and eyes. Basically, what's the main difference is that when two colors simultaneously enter the camera or eye, it reacts differently. The camera would keep both colors the same resolution and same quality, while the eye can't handle that amount of pressure of two colors coming at once, so it will blur out one of them in order to get the other one the good quality.
So now we move on to the process of creating our product. So first of all, our interior would contain multiple lenses like what a camera would have, and then it would have 4 photoreceptors. Why 4 exactly? It's to mimic both the cameras and the eyes. So 1 photoreceptor for each color. So for example, one would be responsible for the red color, one for the blue, and one for the green, and last but not least for the grayscale or the black and white. And the lenses that we'll have will act like the pupil and they will receive the light. And in order to connect our product to the brain, which is the most important part so the eye can function properly, we need to connect it through the optic nerve, which is the only way to connect the eye to the brain. So we're gonna do that by putting a wire at the end of our artificially made eye and connect it to the optic nerve so the electrical signals can travel smoothly through one piece or one tube or one nerve or end wire.
Here we can see the materials. So these are the materials that will be used to make the eye. First, we have polythene, which would be the main body of the eye. Cryolite glass, which will be used for the lenses, and carbon fiber will be a small type chamber that will keep all the lenses and photoreceptors in it in order to protect it from any other any damage.
Now we are finally here at our final step, which is showcasing our product or our final product or what we came to a conclusion of. And our product was made by our engineer Sultan.
Thank you, Ahmed. This is the product, the final product of the eye and the brain. As you can see, it looks like a regular eye, which is our basic goal that we wanted to reach. So we don't want any cybernetic, too futuristic eye that will give it away. We want to make it look as realistic as possible. This will be the video we play here. So as you can see, these are the interior of the eye. It starts with the polythene outside, the carbon fiber as the base, and then the cryolite glass for the lenses. And then we can also see the shutter and the photoreceptors in the back, all RGB colors with the grayscale. And in this showcase, we'll be able to see as light enters the eye, it sends the signals to the nerve, and the nerve will send the signal to the brain. These are the wires here that show the RGB color. As you can see here, this is our model in Blender with the program I used to make the model. You can see everything was made with the basic shapes turned into the objects. You can see these are the light I used to showcase the light. The eye is the color green with some it's kind of glass, so it can go through, make it transparent. Something else you can also see, these are how the interior was made. See how that's how it's made with the lens here, the carbon fiber here shell. And this is the interior. As you can see, it does the lens, constantly the light, the shutter, lens, photoreceptor. This photoreceptor will go all the way here, the light will go all the way here and will go here, and this is how it looks like. The entire model was made here. And we'll take one more spin before concluding this. Get a full overview of the eye. Thank you. This is the model.
So our presentation has come to an end. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you have any questions, you can contact me on my Gmail or my phone number, which is 050-236-7548. As you can see, guys, I get a phone call. I think this is my future leave. If you have any questions, just leave it in my Gmail. It's fine. See you guys.